But let's switch gears now and get to spotlight again Rivers politics. We did some yesterday. Let's get to talk about a few more issues, especially following that endorsement from the governor of that state, Mr. Sim Fubara, endorsing Wike for governor. Well, let's get some perspective this hour. We're joined by a former commissioner for employment generation. He's the Rivers ADC governorship aspirant, and the 2023 PDP presidential campaign spokesman, Rivers State, Mr. Leonu Nwibubasa. I hope I got that correctly. Thank you so much, Mr. Nwibubasa. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Nwibubasa. Well, from the standpoint where you are, I'm not sure exactly how you're reading and receiving the news playing out in your state. First, somebody from the PRP was killed sadly 2 days ago. Perhaps we should begin from there. What are you hearing?
Well, it's unfortunate that we had the issues of death in Rivers State about 3-4 days ago of that incident in Omok. Investigations are still ongoing to ascertain the very reasons for that death. We are yet to hear from security agencies whether it's politically motivated or not. Until then, we can say more of the deaths in Rivers State.
All right. And then to the big one, your governor has now endorsed Wike. He has asked everyone who loves and supports him to, you know what, fall in line. So I'm just wondering, how are you also assessing the position of the governor of Rivers State this time?
Well, that statement from the governor of Rivers State was the most unfortunate statement we expected from a man who woke up one morning and informed Rivers State that the state was under political siege and that his seat was being threatened by forces within and outside of Rivers State, and that the forces aim to kidnap and appropriate Rivers State to themselves as a private estate, and therefore he expected that Rivers people should join him to fight such dark forces and liberate their state to be an independent state where power will be returned to the people. And of course, that was something every person had wanted, because the 8 years of Barrister Wike as governor has been very harrowing in terms of the experiences in maladministration of the state. And that was something to be welcomed. And then the state rallied around Governor Sim Fubara, and then that struggle began. And of course, the rest is history of how many people went down, how many people's political career perished, local government chairmen who were, of course, elected by the people, were removed strangely by the Supreme Court, and so many things in Rivers State. And then the same man, having ruled out the people to fight, is coming back to say, I'm going back to my family, and that whoever believes in me will join me to support the same family. This is the family you told us has appropriated Rivers State. So the question that the governor needs to answer before people will even consider what he has said is, those things you said about Barrister Wike and his political cabal, have they changed? Is Rivers State now safe in the hands of those in that corrupt coalition called the Rainbow Coalition? Are we now sure that we are no longer in a state where we are going to serve a man on our knees, which he said he was not going to govern on his knees? Are we now sure that we are not going back to donate our liver, our kidneys, and our intestine, as the governor once said earlier, that led people to join him to fight? So you can see that this is a situation where a leader has railroaded his people and brought them to the brink of the Red Sea and pushed them in and walked back to Pharaoh to live in Pharaoh's palace. It is very unfortunate. And of course, for him to even say that, oh, if you know you are hanging around me because there's something to get, just know that there's nothing to get. Same Fubara in that statement validated that he does not have followers. That people that are around his followers have left him, and probably those that are hanging around him are just people who are transactional. A real leader cannot say that those that are still hanging, if you are expecting something from me. So he is no longer a leader. He remains the governor of Rivers, but I don't think any person is following him. And that advice to join into Rainbow Coalition, I want to say that Rivers people have made their decision and they have told Same Fubara to your tents, O Israel. And so Rivers people are going back to their tents. We will go back to our wards, to our units, and we need to sit down to recalibrate our own political journey and see what we can do to redeem our state from the hands of Wike's political hegemony.
But even if Governor Sim Fubara had fought this all the way through and refused to surrender to what many would term political intimidation, should Riverians, because Riverians are at the heart of this, have taken him seriously, really, considering the hard facts of the fallout between political godfather and godson, which remain to this day unknown to most Nigerians?
I'm not very clear on your question, on the direction of that question, please.
Simply put, the reason both men fell out remains unclear. So even if he decided to take this fight, which is, in your own words, liberating River State from the hegemony of dark forces, he never at any point in time told Riverians what the reason was of the reason for the fight between himself and Barrister Nyesom Wike was. And so based on that lack of transparency, should the people of River State have taken the governor seriously?
What I will say is that, like I've said in my earlier statement, it will be difficult to deny that he didn't have a reason for the fight. He told us his reason, and those reasons are the ones I have presented. He said Rivers State, that governance was becoming difficult for him because they wanted the treasures of Rivers State, and that the monies of Rivers State were being siphoned, and he has been given conditions that will not be able to work with governance. And so it was about the state resources. It was about protecting the state from being looted. So that was his reason. If that was not the clear reason, it means ab initio we were deceived. If there's any other reason that he has that we don't know today, it simply means that we were deceived. And if we were deceived, it simply still means that he is not a leader to be trusted. And so we cannot say we truly don't know the reason between why the fight started, because he told us your account, your treasury was about to be looted, and that all they wanted is for him to hand over the treasury of River State. So that's the reason he made us believe. And of course, it is clear by all the properties that was acquired illegally by the former governor, and all the things that are still going on in the state today under his dictates. So clearly, it was for the soul of River State. And of course, the soul of every being is tied to his politics and economy. And that was the reason he gave us. And we went out with him. And so if that reason is no longer tenable today, or that was not the true reason, then he simply deceived the people.
Well, so this is clearly perhaps a case of, if you can't beat them, then join them.
Well, it is difficult to take it in just one straight line. First of all, was he ready to fight? Did he try, fail, and later submitted? Or from the beginning, was he completely insincere and just wanted to cause a stir and put a lot of people in harm's way? Because if you wanted to fight, the resources of Rivers people, their support was enough resources for you to fight the system. And so you didn't harness the resource of support that you had across the 23 local governments. Most of the leaders of Rivers State, especially our elders and strong political leaders, stood by him. And so if we lack the will to fight, then he has violated scriptures. Because the Bible says clearly, if a man wants to go to war, first of all, look at your arsenal so that you don't get midway and surrender and become a ridicule to society. And if you want to fight, no matter how little your strength is, keep to your words. I remember Governor Fubara said, if it takes that his life will be given for the liberation of Rivers State, that he was ready. Today, did he give his life? No. The decision he took a few days ago is the most selfish decision any leader will take. He has only gone into self-preservation and did it consider that Rivers State was handed to him through the ballot boxes or by any other means that it came in 2023.
I'm sure his supporters may not agree with you. Some will say perhaps maybe he's doing this for the people of Rivers State. Goodluck Jonathan in 2023 said, you know what, no blood of any Nigerian is worth this particular office. Maybe, I don't know, I do not speak for him, but perhaps maybe that's why he's doing this. But
no. Let's get it clearly.
But let's stay with let's stay with the politics.
Said so, but he said, "I will give my life." Goodluck said, "I don't want any life to go," okay. But Steve said, "I will give mine."
All right.
And when the time came, he couldn't give it, not even his word.
He's only human. He's not Jesus. But let's leave that. And I like the fact that you politicians, especially in Rivers State, know how to use the scriptures or quote the scriptures. We had the PRP governorship candidate on the program yesterday. He was quoting a lot of scriptures, and you have also told that direction and path. But let's stay with the politicking in Rivers State. Where are we in terms of opposition? Where does perhaps this incident of someone of the opposition being killed leave those of you in the opposition camp, so long as the politicking of Rivers State is concerned?
Well, I've actually said every person, most people are in political parties, and if someone has an accident and dies, you won't say because he's in opposition, that's why the accident occurred. Like I said earlier, I have not completely been informed either by authorities or by informal sources that the death that took place a few days ago is politically motivated. The police need to come out clearly and let us know about that. So I don't want to push the issue of death as one of those things that we need to look at in politics. But as an opposition, in Rivers State, the opposition is prepared. I'm of the ADC. And as of today, ADC has cleaned his house, and we have a focus in delivering on the mandate, our mandate for the people to bring back Rivers State from the hands of our captors. And that's a very tall order that we have. But I can tell you that equally tall is our determination to bring that change to Rivers people. Because it is an easy election for Rivers State. Why? Because the governor has not performed. His while Godfather has continued in his oppressive manner in Rivers State. And of course, his choices has remained very clannish. And so Rivers people see through all this. And therefore, as an opposition, we are prepared to face the day when the time falls.
Mr. Nwibubasa, I'm wondering if that aspiration of yours is taller than that of the Rainbow Coalition, and I'm going to get to that by expanding it in just a moment. I appeal to you to hold on for us as we get to our colleague Jeffrey, who's set to bring us an update on the state of things on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, where an accident reportedly occurred as far back as midnight today, but with huge consequences on the expressway. We'll get to you shortly. But Jeffrey, where are you right now, and what is the state of affairs as far as management is concerned? You need to unmute, Jeffrey.
All right. Sorry, Bukola. As you can see, my tie is literally off. I had to go came down from the car, to find out exactly what's going on. I've been able to get to Berger. I'm heading towards the new garage area, but it's still a gridlock. It's still a lockdown, literally. I was outside trying to film. It's coming live to the studio, but the vehicle started moving, so I had to hop back into the car to just this snail speed that we're using to get to wherever we're getting. So that's the situation of things. So if I switch my camera, you can see I'm somewhere. I wish I can take this out of where I am. So where you're looking at, if you see that yellow bus, is somewhere around the express road. That's the express road heading out into Lagos. That's inbound Lagos. But the vehicles on the other side of the road, I don't think you can see it properly, but everywhere is locked down. So this is just when you're coming from Berger, the Bigfoot towards New Garage, which is more like an off ramp if you're coming into Lagos. That is where we are. I am at the moment. I mean, literally, I was trying to get to a point where I will get an aerial view, maybe within the show, where you can see this properly. I had that opportunity, but because vehicles were moving and I couldn't just leave my car on the way because, Nigerians will literally scream at me for standing on their way. So that's where we are right now. Okay, we're moving slowly, close to the roundabout around New Garage area. So that is the situation of things as we speak. Bukola Kelly.
Jeffrey, we really do feel for you, and I can see a fly there also competing for your limelight. We hope that you get out of that very difficult situation soon. I imagine what we would need at this point in time is a tractor to forklift those articulated vehicles away from the accident area. And navigating the gridlock, to get to that point may be difficult, but we hope that they can find a thoroughfare on the other side of the expressway where we have, a free highway. But Jeffrey, our prayers and our thoughts are with you. Do stay safe. Let's head back into the studio now, where we have Mr. Nwibubasa with us. Pardon me if I didn't get your name correctly, but as we look ahead to 2027 now, don't you think an alliance will be more appropriate to rival the very intimidating power of incumbency and monopoly of resources that the Rainbow Coalition will be presenting to what some would say, certainly win the election in Rivers State?
Well, let me start by saying that the rainbow is a fleeting natural phenomenon. It changes based on weather. And so it was the most appropriate name to give to that group because they don't stand a chance. Talking about intimidating power of incumbency. Who is the incumbent? We have a man in government house. He never knew how his election was won. So he doesn't even know what election means. You talk about funds. Money is not everything in election. We know that Rivers State election has been characterized by heavy bribing, violence, intimidation, institutional malpractices. As I have said it before, and I want to say it again, when the people are determined to be free, there is no obstacle that is strong enough to break the will of such a people. We live in Rivers State, we politic in Rivers State, I work in Rivers State. I'm a medical doctor and I practice here. I meet with patients every day and I know the poverty and the pain that Rivers people are going through. And so for those of us that do business here and interact with the people daily, you can tell their pain. And so when that determination comes, it is going to be clear to all that no matter what comes, no matter the intimidation, no matter the force, Rivers people will stand strong to demolish whatever coalition that we.
It's a really very sad picture and frame there about Rivers and the people of Rivers States, and for all of the natural resources that state has in its coffers. It's really, really sad to to hear this. But we must thank you because we are absolutely pressed for time. Dr. Nwibubasa. Was that close?
Nwibubasa, you got Lelonu, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Nwibubasa.
Nwibubasa, thank you so much. He's a former Commissioner for Employment, Generation, Rivers, ADC, Governorship Aspirant, 2023 PDP presidential campaign spokesman in Rivers State. Thank you indeed for your time on the program.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.